97% of women over 50 miss the exact moment when a man begins to show interest in them, not because they are unaware, distracted, or out of touch, but because the signs no longer look the way they once did. He is not going to lean closer with a wink and say, "You're beautiful." He will not clearly say, "I like you," or openly ask if you want a drink. Instead, he may say something soft, subtle, or even ordinary. On the surface, it may seem meaningless, but underneath it carries weight. It is a quiet door opening, and if you do not step through it, that door closes just as gently as it opened. This is how opportunities quietly slip away. You walk off thinking he seemed pleasant. He walks away thinking, "I guess she isn't interested." You did nothing wrong. You simply missed the moment because you did not realize what he was truly expressing beneath his words. This message is about the kind of gentle, non-obvious questions men ask when they feel interest but are not ready to fully expose themselves. These questions appear casual, almost harmless, yet they carry emotional signals underneath. We will look at 8 types of these questions and how to respond in a way that shows openness and presence without sounding desperate or jumping to conclusions. After 50, most women do not need to try harder. They simply need to notice more clearly. Once you begin to see these moments, you start to catch signals that once passed you by. You begin to hear warmth where you once heard only small talk. You begin to feel attraction in moments that once seemed unimportant. This is the kind of mature attraction that moves quietly, where before you may have assumed it was only politeness or good manners. Let's begin with the first question. It sounds harmless, even simple, but it is one of the quietest ways a man checks the emotional temperature. When a man asks, "How old are you really?" he is not just looking for a number. He already knows you are not 30, and he is not asking only to tease or joke. What he is really trying to understand goes much deeper. He wants to see how you carry your age. Do you hold it with confidence? Do you feel comfortable in it? Do you still feel alive within it? Or is it something you try to hide? He is watching to see if you own it. Your response tells him far more than any birth year ever could. If you laugh nervously, avoid the question, or make a tired joke about getting older, he may still smile. But inside something shifts. Because what he is truly looking for is not youth. He is looking for a woman who feels present in her own life. The women who glow at this stage are not trying to turn back time. They are the ones who can answer with calm energy and a light spark, saying something like, "Old enough to know what I want and young enough to still want it," or "Do you want my age or my energy?" These responses show comfort, confidence, and openness without effort. There was a woman in her early 60s, graceful and warm, with a quiet, magnetic presence. She once shared a story about meeting a man at a music event in the park. He was polite, kind, and had an easy smile. After some conversation, he asked, "How old are you really?" She smiled and half laughed and replied, "Old enough to know better than to answer that on a first meeting." He laughed, but something subtly changed. Later she reflected and said, "I thought I was being clever, but I think I missed something." And she was right. These gentle tests are not just words, they are invitations. When you meet them with avoidance or discomfort, even if he says nothing, he feels it. Here is what is really happening. As we grow older, we do not just carry years, we also carry fears. The fear of not being seen anymore, the fear of not being desired, the fear of not being chosen. Men sense that energy. When they ask questions like this, they are quietly checking, are you still alive inside? Do you believe you are worthy of being noticed, wanted, and loved? So the next time someone asks, how old are you really? Do not shrink away or brush it off. Let it be a moment, because if he is asking, interest already exists. There is already a spark. Your answer either strengthens it or lets it fade. Another question that often surprises women is, why aren't you married? At first, it may sound personal or intrusive, but pay attention to how it is asked. If his tone is gentle, thoughtful, and curious instead of critical, he is not judging your past. He is quietly wondering if there might be room for him in your future. He is not asking for your full life story. He simply wants to sense if you are still emotionally open. This is where many women unknowingly go off course. Some begin explaining everything, talking about old relationships, past pain, and what went wrong. Others become defensive and respond with something like, "Marriage didn't work for me," or "I've already done that." What they often do not realize is that both responses send a similar message. They say, "I am not open," or "I am still carrying the past heavily." What he wants to hear is not your history. He wants to feel your peace. He wants to sense whether you speak about your life with calm and space for something new. A softer response works better. Something like, "Life just unfolded differently, but I'm open now." Or even, "I was waiting for the right person." That alone tells him what he needs to know. There was a woman in her mid-60s who met a man during a casual class. After several meetings filled with laughter and ease, he gently asked, "How is someone like you not married?" She froze, laughed nervously, and changed the topic. He never returned. Later, she realized he was not questioning her past. He was imagining a future. That is the quiet truth of these moments. They do not announce themselves. They appear during normal conversation, and if missed, they disappear just as quietly. When a man asks something like that, he is already feeling something. He is testing the waters, hoping you will allow him a small opening before he risks more. If your answer carries warmth and light openness, he feels it immediately. It tells him, she is not just single, she is available. That difference matters. Another subtle question is, do you date younger men? Some women feel flattered, others feel suspicious, trying to figure out his motive. But what is really happening is simple. He is trying to see where he stands without fully putting himself out there. He is wondering, could I be an option? He is not asking about your past choices. He is asking about his chances. Many women shut this down without realizing it. They say things like, "I don't date younger men," or they joke, "Aren't you a little young for me?" Both responses feel like a quiet rejection. A more open reply keeps the door unlocked. Something like, "I don't focus on age, I care more about who someone is," or, "If the connection is right, age matters less." These answers do not promise anything, but they create space. And sometimes, space is all he needs. There was a woman in her late 50s, creative and free-spirited, who met a thoughtful man about 10 years younger at an art event. After a long conversation, he asked, "Would you ever date someone younger?" She smiled, paused, and said, "That depends on how he makes me feel." That simple sentence shifted the entire energy. It gave him permission to lean in. Because at this stage of life, connection is not about numbers. It is about how two people resonate with each other, quietly, honestly, and in real time. When a man asks whether you date someone younger, he is not being daring or confident. He is hoping for a small opening. He is hoping for a maybe. He is hoping for a chance to matter to you. Your answer tells him whether he should keep leaning in or quietly step back without making a scene. There is another question that sounds casual, but carries a lot beneath the surface. What kind of man do you usually go for? It sounds like light conversation, but it is not. He is not asking to measure himself against a checklist. He is trying to understand whether he could possibly be someone you might be open to. Some women answer by listing traits: tall, funny, successful, likes animals, adventurous. When you do that, he instantly feels like an outsider trying to qualify. It puts distance between you without meaning to. What works better is leaving space for him instead of closing it with specifics. You might say something like, "I'm drawn to men who are steady and kind," or "I care more about how someone makes me feel than whether they meet certain standards." When you answer from that place, warm and open, it allows him to imagine himself next to you. That alone can shift everything. There was a woman in her early 60s who met a man while volunteering at a community event. They talked easily and laughed without effort. Later, while working side by side, he asked, "What kind of man are you usually drawn to?" She answered without overthinking it. She said she liked someone calm, someone whose presence made a space feel safe. He did not respond right away, but later, after most people had left, he stayed behind to help. When she thanked him, he smiled quietly and said he was hoping he fit that description. That is the gentle power of these moments. When you speak from who you are instead of trying to perform, you allow real connection to form. On a deeper level, that question is about self-selection. He is listening carefully, paying attention to what you say and what you do not say. He is deciding whether he should step closer or protect himself by stepping back. Your answer either invites him forward or lets him drift away without embarrassment. So the next time a man asks what kind of man you usually like, do not describe a fantasy. Describe the feeling you want to share. Because if he is asking, there is a strong chance he is wondering whether he could be that person for you. Then there is another type of question that sounds playful but holds more meaning. Something like, "Are you always this smooth?" It often comes with a half smile or a soft laugh. It feels like a compliment, and it is, but something deeper is happening underneath. When a man says this, he is not just flirting, he is acknowledging the energy between you and quietly asking if you are willing to stay with it. What he is really asking is, can you stay present with me right here? Can you hold this spark without pulling away or making it uncomfortable? This is where many women step back without realizing it. They joke it away with comments like, "Only on certain days," or "Must be the mood tonight." And just like that, the small flame he offered begins to fade. A better response is one that is light but grounded. You might say, "Only when someone brings it out of me," or "I save that side of me for people who feel worth it." When your voice and body language say, "I'm here, and I'm not afraid of this moment," he feels it. He feels safe to continue connecting. A woman once shared another moment like this. She met a man at a small local music night. They talked about old records, familiar songs, and memories tied to sound. At one point, he leaned in slightly and asked, "Are you always this charming, or is tonight special?" She smiled and replied, "That depends. Are you always this brave, or is tonight different?" She said the energy between them shifted instantly. The way he looked at her changed. In that moment, he stopped seeing her as just friendly conversation. He saw possibility. These questions are not really about charm or wit. They are about connection. He is offering a gentle bridge from friendly to flirty without pressure. Your response tells him whether you are still emotionally open or whether you have quietly closed yourself off to this kind of closeness. From a psychological point of view, this type of comment is a careful way for a man to deepen interest. He is not overwhelming you. He is simply knocking softly. In that moment, your role is not to impress him, it is just to stay present. So if a man asks whether you are always this smooth, do not brush it away. Let him feel that you can hold warmth without shrinking, especially now. Then there is the question that sounds innocent, even teasing, but often carries real weight. Why don't you have a boyfriend? On the surface, it seems casual, but it means more than it appears. When a man asks this, he is not just filling silence, he is searching for hope. He is wondering if there is space in your heart that he might step into. He wants to know whether you still believe in connection or whether that door has quietly closed. Many women answer in ways that unintentionally sound like that door is locked. They say things like, "I enjoy being alone," or "Men are too much trouble," or "I'm very used to my independence." When he hears that, something inside him pulls back. He was not only asking if you were single, he was asking if your heart still had room, if emotional openness still lived there. If that is true for you, the best response is one that leaves space. You might say, "I've been taking my time and staying open," or "I'm waiting for something that feels right." These answers invite curiosity instead of closing it. A woman in her early 70s once described a moment like this. She had a calm, grounded presence. At an art show, a man struck up a conversation. After a while, he asked, Why don't you have a boyfriend? She looked at him and said she had been learning to love herself more deeply, and now she was ready to share that with someone else. She said he stayed close to her the rest of the evening. That is the strength of an honest, centered response that leaves room for possibility. Men, especially as they get older, often fear rejection deeply, sometimes even more than women do. Instead of clearly stating how they feel, they ask careful questions, quiet questions, questions that seem simple but take courage to ask. How you respond tells them whether it is safe to move forward or whether they should protect themselves and pull away. So when he asks why you are single, do not shut him out. Let him lean in. Let curiosity remain alive between you. Then there is the question that takes the most courage. Would you ever go out with someone like me? This is as close as many men come to a direct confession. When a man asks this, it might sound light or playful, but it is not a joke. He is stepping into vulnerability. He is not talking about men in general. He is talking about himself. This is not a test. It is honesty. How you respond shapes how he carries that moment forward. Many women freeze here. They hesitate, say they are not sure, or change the subject. And when that happens, he pulls back. Not because his interest was weak, but because he feels exposed and alone in that feeling. The right response does not need to be perfect or poetic. It just needs to be sincere, grounded, and real. Something that shows you truly notice him, that you really see him. You might say, "I think I would be lucky if I could." Then pause and allow the moment to breathe. Let the honesty settle. Let him feel the warmth in your words without rushing past it. There was a woman in her mid-60s, retired from a demanding career, calm and steady in the way she moved through the world. She used to walk in the park with a man she had grown close to. One evening, beneath a quiet blue sky, he asked softly, "Would you ever date someone like me?" She did not answer right away. She looked at him and said, "I'd be foolish not to." He did not reply. He simply reached for her hand and continued walking. That is what these moments ask for. Not clever lines, not charm, just truth. Gentle, honest truth. On a deeper level, this is the final opening. Not a tactic or a game, but a moment of connection. He is not only flirting, he is trying to understand if he still matters, if he still stirs something real in a woman like you. You are not being asked to promise anything. You are only being invited to stay present. So if a man asks whether you would go out with someone like him, remember that it took courage for him to speak. Meet that courage with kindness and honesty, and he will remember it. Not because you pursued him, but because you truly saw him. And sometimes the clearest signs are not spoken at all. They live in the spaces between words, in the way he looks at you when the conversation goes quiet, in the way he stays a moment longer without needing a reason, in how his eyes soften slightly when you say something small but real. Many men, especially later in life, have learned to express interest without raising their voice, to show care without pushing too hard. And if you are not paying attention, it is easy to miss. Have you noticed a man leaning in just a little when you speak, holding your gaze a second longer than expected, smiling gently at something you said, even when it was not meant to be funny? These are not accidents. They are quiet offerings, small signals meant to be felt rather than explained. Then there are the physical signs, a hand resting close to yours when there is plenty of room, standing just a bit nearer than needed, matching your movements without realizing it. These gestures may be subtle, but they are meaningful. They are silent invitations saying, "I notice you. Do you notice me?" When you respond with ease, with a pause, a soft smile, a touch of warmth, you may be surprised by how much can shift. Because real connection does not begin with grand speeches. It starts with small acts of courage, gentle risks, and quiet moments where one person says without words, "I am here," and the other person stays. You begin to notice the details again. A glance that lasts just a bit longer. A body that turns toward you instead of away. A voice that changes slightly when he says your name. These are deeply human signs of attraction, built into us long before we learn to doubt ourselves. But as we grow older, especially after loss, heartbreak, or long stretches of being alone, we start to question those instincts. We second guess what we feel. We tell ourselves, he is just being polite. But what if he is not? What if his eyes hold more than kindness? What if the way he listens is not just courtesy, but real curiosity, maybe even admiration? What if his quiet attention is his way of showing that something in him lights up when you walk into the room? This is not about guessing or trying to read minds. It is about returning to presence, about allowing yourself to notice again what once came naturally, before life became heavy, fast, and loud. At this stage of life, attraction rarely announces itself loudly. It does not demand attention. It moves gently. It whispers. So here is a quiet invitation for you. The next time you speak with a man, do not pressure yourself to say the perfect thing. Instead, look at him. Really look. Notice how his eyes move when they meet yours. Notice if he leans closer when you speak, or how his breathing changes when you are near. Ask yourself not, what should I say, but what is he already showing me? Because very often the most meaningful signals are not words at all. They live in the pauses, in the way someone does not rush the silence, in the way they linger instead of leaving, in those quiet moments where connection has space to grow. In those lingering moments, something important is happening. He is giving you time. Time is one of the quietest but strongest signs of interest. When a man does not rush away, when he stays even after the conversation slows, when he finds small reasons to remain near you, he is showing care without needing to announce it. Many women mistake this calm presence for neutrality. They think, if he were interested, he would say more. But at this stage of life, interest often shows itself through patience, not urgency. Notice if he asks gentle follow-up questions, not dramatic ones, just thoughtful ones. Questions that show he remembered something small you mentioned earlier. A detail about your day, your favorite place, or something that matters to you. When a man remembers, it is not accidental. Memory is attention held over time. It means you stayed with him even when you were not there. Also notice how he responds to your emotions. When you speak about something meaningful, does he soften? Does he slow down? Does he listen without interrupting or rushing to fix things? This kind of listening is intimacy. It sometimes interest shows up in protection, not control, but quiet awareness. He notices when you seem tired. He checks if you arrived home safely. He adjusts his pace to match yours. These gestures are small, but they are intentional. They say, "You matter to me," without demanding anything in return. And then there is humor. Not jokes meant to impress, but shared laughter that feels easy. The kind that happens naturally without effort. When a man laughs with you instead of at you, when the laughter creates closeness instead of distance, it is another soft sign. It means he feels comfortable letting his guard down. You may also notice moments when he reveals something personal, but not all at once. A small truth, a quiet admission, something real but measured. This is trust growing slowly. Men often open in layers. Each shared truth is a test of safety. If you meet it with calm acceptance instead of judgment or shock, he relaxes. He feels understood. Many women miss these signals because they are waiting for clarity in words, but clarity often comes through consistency, through how he shows up again and again, through how he treats you when no one is watching, through the steady warmth that does not fade after one conversation. It is also important to notice how you feel around him. Do you feel more yourself? Do you feel calm, seen, and relaxed? Attraction at this stage is not usually dramatic or overwhelming. It feels grounding. It feels like ease. It feels like coming home to yourself rather than losing yourself. When you respond to these signs with openness, not fear, something beautiful happens. You create a space where connection can deepen naturally. You do not chase. You do not perform. You simply remain available. Available does not mean vulnerable to harm. It means emotionally present, aware, and receptive. Means he is not just hearing words, he is taking you in. Many men express care by offering steady attention instead of emotional speeches.